All right, Fraulein. How'd you like that movie? Thoughts?
I like the first one better.
Me too.
We'll just start off with that
Yeah.
because it was all right,
Yeah.
but the first one was, which is about what I expected because it seems like that nowadays sequels are just not as good as the first one. You know, you go back like the mid 2000s and sequels sometimes were better than the first one, but
Yeah.
you don't have that anymore.
You really don't. If you had to guess on Rotten Tomatoes, what would you say the critics said about this one? Like percentage-wise?
Rotten Tomatoes always seems to be skewed one way or the other, so I'm going to go they probably gave it a really high score. So 80s?
58%.
Really?
Yeah. The audience, what do you think they said?
Probably that, around there.
78%.
Really? It's flipped.
Yeah.
That never happens.
Very interesting. That was literally all I got my laptop out for. So
I could have pulled that up right here.
yeah, well. Yeah, it was interesting because I felt like the other one. It's not that the other one just came out and was like a popcorn type movie. Like there was development. We had, the kind of slowly went through how the heist was happening and setting stuff up, and we did that in this movie. But I don't know. It wasn't quite. I don't know. There was just it lacked something.
I agree.
You know?
Definitely. I mean, I think it had a pretty good build up. I just had to double check for the runtime of the movie because I was like, that was a long movie.
Felt very long.
It felt very long. Like it's hour or 144 minutes, so 2 hours. And so they gave plenty of. It seemed like there was way more build up than what there was, like, action.
Yeah.
Way more build up. Then the action was like, and then it was over.
Yeah, and I don't even think, like, I'm not even sitting here going, like, man, like, I wish there was more. Like, I'm not, like, explosion junkie or anything like that, but, like there was that one part, like, everything during the heist seemed pretty low stakes also. In the first one where you're in the Federal Reserve and, he's crawling around, trying to get all the money out, and dudes are bringing the armored trucks in and all this shit, and it was just this very like high tension feeling, throughout the whole thing, and they did a really good job of making you feel very on edge, and during the actual heist part in the Diamond Exchange in this one, we're just kind of whispering, and
20 seconds.
And it's 20 seconds until this.
10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. We're rappelling down the elevator shaft, and we're emptying the drawers, and we're rolling through the places.
This little reflective shield.
And that was cool.
I think that was cool.
It gets cool points for sure, because they were inventive with like how they were executing the heist. They had little spray that was they like sprayed some stuff on the camera.
I wonder, the curiosity, because he disguised it as breast spray.
Yeah.
I wonder how that tasted. Like,
probably awful. But as much as Nick smokes, he didn't taste anything.
It's the layers of nicotine and tar on his tongue just blocks any.
Yeah.
Any
and on
flavor.
top of that, all the liquor he consumes. I mean, it's just that guy hasn't tasted anything in years. Yeah. It just and here's the other thing. I think in a heist movie, I don't like it when the cops win.
Mm-hmm.
And
because you're rooting for the bad guys,
right?
The heist
the whole
movie
thing
is you
with
are
the
rooting
heist.
for the bad guys.
Yeah.
You're not watching a heist movie because you're like, yeah, go blue.
Right? Yeah. And it's kind of disappointing because, like, in both, I mean, Donnie gets away in the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still know him as Donnie. I mean, Jesus, he has like 8 names at this point. He's Fraulein, he's Jean-Jacques, he's Donnie. I mean, he's just all these.
Ice Cube Jr.
Ice Cube Jr.
Ice Cube Jr.'s gotten a little big.
He
got
blew up.
big.
He blew up a little bit.
Not as bad as Todd from Breaking Bad, but
no. But Todd was just funny though. That was funnier than anything. But he's not the best actor either. I don't feel like
No.
Junior. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's not bad.
It's just
For him to be kind of your main character who everything revolves around, he lacks, I feel like, a certain
just
like
the
it factor.
dedication.
Yeah.
Like the selling point.
Right.
It's kind of like, I see where you're going at, but I can still see your Ice Cube Jr.
Right.
At least it's a little better played off than like, The Rock, who plays The Rock.
The Rock every time. Yeah.
Kevin Hart plays Kevin Hart.
Yeah. I mean, because like even in the first Den of Thieves, I didn't really find him very like he's doing that whole like, oh, I'm in complete control of my surroundings. People don't even know, right? Like even the execution of that line for him in the first movie, it was just kind of like, I don't know, man. I felt like a 5-year-old wrote that line or something. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, I don't know. It's not strong. I don't know.
I mean, I would say like in the first one, I don't know, like I would say 50 Cent besides Gerard Butler carried the cast out of the first one. I think 50 Cent's a good actor.
I would agree if he was featured more, because I didn't feel like we heard from 50 Cent
Not a lot, but I felt like that he had the most believable role. I don't know.
Sure. I think what was good, I don't know if we featured 50 Cent a lot, I don't know that he'd be that great.
Maybe.
He was fine for the role that he played. I don't know. It was very white collar crime type thing in this movie. And
Diamonds.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares about diamonds?
And it was all these like, we have all these European, to some extent, like different like masters of stealing, and it was a den of thieves, if you will, right? And yeah, I mean, it just the first one was better, but there is a what I like to call a little cheese factor with both of them. And I don't know, how'd you feel about the end? Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Obviously they set it up to where they can, if this does good, they're going to lead into a Den of Thieves 3.
Right.
Den of Thieves 3, I don't know, Mexico City or something.
Is that what it is?
I don't
Is that
know.
what you like?
Moscow or I don't
Moscow. Oh, man.
know. North Korea.
North Korea. Man.
The Den of Thieves takes on North Korea.
Den of Thieves takes on the Den of Fascism.
They're going to scam Kim Jong-un out of a lot of money. That's not worth anything because it's North Korean currency.
Right. They're going to steal their nukes.
That can't even fly.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't. I liked the idea that Nick kind of turned. Because it wasn't that hard of a thing to believe that Nick would be a bad guy. Because, I mean, other than being a cop, Nick is kind of a bad guy.
Yeah.
Other than having the moral high ground with a couple select, situations, Nick's not that great of a dude. And, he's just so abrasive, if you think about the first one and he's sitting there, he interrupts everybody at the Japanese steakhouse place, and he's just like, yeah, food sucks. We come here for the ass. I don't know. So it wasn't that like long of a it wasn't that far cry to think that Nick had went, the other way. And then for him to change sides on him at the end and be like, you're busted. All right, fine. But then to double change
Again?
and like, yeah, I guess he talked to the mafia, which by the way, I mean, if we talk about the whole chase scene when they're getting away from, the dude who turned on them, who decided they were just going to hijack the fucking heist from him. How convenient of the, those mafia dudes to just be at the place that they crashed and take out those dudes that were about to smoke them. I mean, that's a little one of those movie convenience things for you, where it's like a little too easy. Like that's where you guys parked. You were just waiting,
just
right
checking
there.
the sights out. I mean, it was a great location.
We had a feeling you'd crash into that wall right there, and we would have to kill those guys for you, and you did. It worked out.
So then maybe I missed it, but who? So the guys that were chasing them, where did they fall? Like, who were they for? Or maybe I missed that part?
Remember the dude who was like real shitty with Donnie in the beginning of planning it?
Marco?
I believe that was Marco, yeah.
Because Nico told him to eat a dick or something like that.
Yeah, whoever was just like, fuck this guy. Who the fuck is this guy?
Marco.
Yeah, okay, Marco. The name's like...
I only remember his name Marco because he made the joke Nico.
Yeah. And then he eventually like dropped out. He was like, fuck this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he got dudes together and they got like armor piercing rounds and all that shit. And they waited till they were running because they wanted to just basically take all the shit from him. And they're like, well, fuck it. I'm not working with that. Because, he got mad. Nick was like dancing with his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. A little
which that's always so funny with dudes.
Who broke up with who as well? That's the question. If he broke up with her and he's mad that he's dancing with his ex and he broke up with her, I mean,
dudes are always so goofy about that, the whole ex thing. So yeah, I mean, he was like, fuck this, and he's out, and then Nick was in. So then, again, with things being like a little too convenient sometimes, right? Like Nick is their way in to scope out, the basement, the vault, and all that kind of shit because he's a cop, so he can get in and, look around and all that. And then he turns around and busts him. So, I don't know. Is it worth asking what's the plan if Nick doesn't come along? Like, it's all very easy.
Yeah.
Like, Donnie's like, oh, fuck, he's here. And then he's like, oh, well, while you're here, go do this for me,
Because otherwise there would have been really no way to figure out what's in there.
Right.
Because you're not allowed in there unless you're a concierge or one of the main, what do they call them? I can't remember the name, but whoever is actually in like this thing.
Right.
Great description.
Yeah.
We're known for our descriptive talent.
We really knock it out sometimes, I gotta say. Yeah. Anyway, would I see it again? No. What about you?
I'd maybe watch it one more time on a streaming service. I would not pay for it again.
I would not pay for it again.
If it came out on Netflix, I have a bored Sunday or whatever. Fuck it, I'll put it on. See if I catch anything else that I missed, or see if I just get annoyed with how long it is again.
Was it necessary? Like, did you want this?
Honestly, I would have never even thought about it until I saw something about Den of Thieves 2 a couple weeks ago, and I was like, that's happening, I guess.
I was surprised when I saw the preview for it because I did not keep up with it. I thought the first one was okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was needed. I think first one was fine with where it left at.
Yeah.
Let's leave it there. Not every movie needs a sequel.
Yeah.
Not every movie needs a sequel.
It
seems like that the firefight scene in this movie was way shorter compared to what it was in the first one. I feel like the first one seemed like it was 25% of the fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was like 5 minutes of a car chase and gunfight, and then it was over.
Yeah. Other than that, they were whispering and crawling around in the dark and
drinking alcohol.
And drinking, a lot of partying.
I knew something was up on that last scene when Nick only took like a portion of that shot. He did a little, and then put it back down. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was looking at the money and everything, and immediately I just started going, he flipped, you know? It's like, shit. I don't know. I like the thieves to win.
If he didn't flip, he could have stayed with them, had a lot of money, and could have had a potential love of his life. Obviously, they had something going on there. There was something there. I almost knocked over the mic.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Again, I think it wasn't that crazy. I like this movie better if Nick's just like straight up, I'm a thief now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious to see, because like you said, they did very much leave it. I wouldn't even say left it open. I would say very much implied they plan on making a third movie by the way the movie ends, you know? Which is also another weird thought, that like Nick arranges that the cops are going to bust him, right? And then he also was like, well, I'm going to get Donnie out. I'm going to talk to the mafia dudes that I was so scared of that I was going to like leave the whole, like just leave this whole thing because mafia dudes were involved. And I was like, all right, I'm going to talk to those guys, get them out. You know, I don't know. That or, well, no, wait. You know what? I think I'm fucking that up.
So, here's my thought. Do you believe that Nick contacted the mafia to break him out of jail?
I just remembered how that went.
Because
dude sees him in the paper.
In the paper, yeah. That's why I was sitting there. I was trying to put that together in my head. I'm like,
yeah, I fucked that up. Yeah.
Because all Nick said was that there was a bag. He had one bag waiting for him, which I assume is probably a bag of money that he had stashed away for Donnie.
Sit back left. Which was weird because then he didn't.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, so is he about to get fucked up because he didn't sit back left? And then dude started cutting the grate on the cop van, and then he moved back left. But that didn't really seem. That whole thing was weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that the mafia boss or whoever saw him in the paper and was like, "We're gonna go get that guy. We're gonna break him out, but he's gonna have to work for us now."
Yeah. So like I would say they very much implied like when he goes, "You work for me now," and then Donnie's like, "Well, what's next?" And you roll credits. It's like, yeah.
There's going to be a third one.
Yeah. They very much plan on it, which, I don't know, do you want it?
No.
I almost...
Would you go see it if it came out?
Yes.
If in 2028, it's a while from now.
Yeah, very much, yeah.
Den of Thieves 3 comes out.
Yeah, I'd go. Because I'd be curious, what are they doing with the Nick character? Because his arc's very interesting, going from this dude who, he's just very, very non-traditional cop.
No, watch it. I'm going to call it right now. He's going to be there, since he helped capture them, he's going to be working for some international agency that is catching like international crime dealers and stuff like that, and he's working with some type of agency like that, some type of real or made up agency, and they're going to be doing some kind of international crime in a different country or something like that. And here comes Nick. This is the same profile as the guy I locked away. They broke out.
Yeah,
and then it's just they hate each other again.
I'm very curious to see what they would do with their relationship at that point. Because Nick obviously likes Donnie at this point. They kind of bond, and, Nick is cool with, Donnie being out. He doesn't do anything about it. He just, they just text about it. Hey, I'm out. I guess a tire can change the stripes. Yeah, no, cool. That's great. It's like, I don't know. Nick's such a complicated character.
He just needs to go back to being the president's Secret Service detail.
Donnie has fallen.
Donnie has fallen. Den of Thieves has fallen.
Den of Thieves has fallen. Yeah. Should they make it? Probably not. Would I go see it? Yes. Should it have been left at just like one feature movie? Yes.
At this point, yeah. If they make a third one, you should go see it. Just for the principle. Just like if they were to put out another Fast and Furious movie this year.
I haven't seen one since Fast 7.
So we got to catch up then.
At some point, I will. When they're done, and if they're like available on a streaming platform, I'll
watch all of them in a row.
I'll catch up. Yeah, I'll do a little binge session. I'll catch up, but
you don't want to see them go to space again? They're going to Mars.
It's weird. I don't know. I mean, without Paul Walker, it's kind of like, why are you still here?
It should have
ended. Why are you still doing it?
Should have ended. What was it? 5?
7.
Was it 7 that
he was dead?
So that was the one we went to go see.
Yeah,
back in like 2016.
Yeah, something like that. I almost want to say 14 or 15.
2014. Well, now I gotta look it up. Anyways, yeah, like that's another example of a series like we don't need anymore.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Just because it was so good does not mean you need to continue making.
That's that Jurassic Park line, you know. It's how's it go? The Jeff Goldblum line. It's you were so focused on if you could, you didn't stop to think about if you should. That's kind of the whole Fast and Furious thing.
2015 for that movie.
2015. There you go.
2015 for that movie. Well, it's kind of like you just need to know if you are a movie director, writer, whatever. You need to know when to just stop.
Right.
You want to know who is a great example of knowing when to stop? Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld knew when to end that show instead of letting it drag out to where it would have been an unbearable show after so many seasons. He just said, hey, this is enough. We're on a high note. We're most popular TV on NBC's, or most popular show on NBC's lineup. Let's stop.
Yeah.
And he did it.
Yeah.
And his the series finale had record amount of viewers on it. So much that like the streets of LA were practically clear and they were broadcasting on a fucking Times Square on the screens there, like type shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of that thing where, like, you know, should you? I mean, sure, you're going to get another paycheck if you do. You know, I mean, I believe me, I guarantee that's why Fast and Furious keeps going. It's not because they're like,
the money's there.
Well, yeah, but you see, when they go to space, you know, this character development just really skyrockets. No pun intended.
It's out of this world.
It's out of this world. The character development, no pun intended. You know, just a lot of space puns in the writer's room. You know, like no one is over there making Fast and Furious movies. They're sitting there going like, no, I mean, this next one really means something to me.
The only time I want to see Fast and Furious go to space is if we actually had flying cars that went to space in real life right now. If I could hop in a Chevy flying car and fly to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So therefore, Fast and Furious makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, Den of Thieves 2.
Not Fast and Furious.
Don't recline in your chair during those dark whispery parts. You know, I had a couple times where I was almost falling asleep.
Yeah, that's why I kept on I'd kind of like adjust myself and like kind of move up.
Yeah,
because I started to.
Yeah, at one point I think there was still like 20, 25 minutes left, and I just sat up because I was like, no, this isn't gonna work. Like I just gotta, I unreclined the seat. You know,
it gets too quiet and whispery in a dark theater, and the theater is always. I think theaters most of the time are perfect temperatures as well. In there, it's never too hot, too cold.
Yeah,
you're just comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You just start to.
Yeah, exactly. Naturally.
Yeah, so yeah, I had to, during the quiet, whispery parts, I had to kind of like move around to keep myself awake, or like, eat some candy or drink some of my drink.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, it was underwhelming, is what I'll say. I wasn't overly impressed. It was, still had some cool, like, heisty things, but it was a lot of, it was a more intricate heist, it being the whole diamond exchange thing, and and the other thing was there were no like cops right on their tail. I think that's kind of part of what made the first Den of Thieves sort of exciting, is that
they was there.
Yeah, Nick was just always on their ass, and now Nick was part of it, and it didn't really reveal any sort of. Also, we still don't know how they got the money in the first one.
Yeah,
I kind of maybe thought when they were talking, and there's a good chance maybe the writers don't even know. They were just like, yeah, it goes in the back of the SUV and it's just shredded stuff. And then you see Donnie packing all the money up in the tires and shipping them, and it's like, okay, well, cool. I like it a lot.
There's no way to explain it. Even the writers can't even be creative to find a way.
Right. I mean, like, yeah, if you're gonna be all secretive about it, and honestly, if I'm missing something and someone out there knows, fucking email me at contentcrisishotline@yahoo.com. I would love to see it if it's just, staring me right in the face and I didn't see it. But I thought maybe when they're sitting there talking about shit, after they, almost got arrested and all that, I thought maybe they'd talk about it and like, hey, this is how I did it. But, they didn't really reveal that. That was kind of a thing I was hoping. Yeah, just wasn't as exciting. Go see it, whatever, for the hell of it, right? But don't set your expectations very high,
or set your seat back.
What'd you
think of the previews?
What previews did we see?
I don't know. The one that just sticks in my mind is the sex doll one.
Oh yeah,
the AI sex doll that the dude gave like crazy intelligence to that ended up killing him or some shit.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's creative. It's original. Yes. Something we seem to lack in today's industry.
Yeah,
but it definitely was. I was not expecting it to be. It was a good like a minute into this preview, and then it's like the dude's like, "Dude, you AI'd your sex doll," and it was like just like, "What?"
It was something, man. I'll see it out of originality. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's why I'd like to go see, Den of Thieves 2, right? You should go see it because at least
it's original.
At least it's a sequel to an original.
It's not another John Wick movie,
right? Yeah, John. Look, I do like the John Wicks, but now we're doing this other thing where we're doing a lot of things like within the John Wick world. And I don't know that anybody was really asking for it. Mm-hmm. Maybe they were.
John Wick, like the Marvel universe now, there's going to be like multiple John Wick universes.
Well, I mean, they already got that series on Peacock, The Continental. Now they're doing this other movie. I mean, they're really milking that cash cow for all it's worth. Which, hey,
If it makes money, I guess. I mean.
Yeah, what are you here for anyway, right?
I'm not going to go see it, but what other previews were there? I don't know. A lot of AMC commercials. Yeah. I really wanted to flip popcorn in the air and see if transformed into dancing with some random lady. Like that one commercial. I love like product placement and like those type of commercials and even movies where it's just like the label's always towards the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what was Den of Thieves 2 sponsored by? Doritos, Pepsi, LaCroix, Ciroc, Porsche. Trying to remember what other cars. Audi.
Yeah, there's Audi there, and
yeah, it was.
It's like, and here's the thing, like that when Nick was having that like meeting with whoever at the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, the Fed and like his.
And they had
boss.
A little plate in the middle of the table that had different soft drinks on it, Pepsi and what was the
LaCroix?
Yeah, that one was that sparkling water.
Yeah.
I've never seen you never see drinks like that at a fancy at a high class whatever meeting like that, or
sure
it's always a container full of water and some glasses.
Right.
Just every couple seconds, Nick was like.
Yeah, dude, his like boss dude was like really chugging on the LaCroix. I was like, okay, no.
0 calories.
Hey, yeah, no sugar. Okay, all right. Yeah,
This Dr. Pepper in 23 flavors tastes so good.
yeah.
Sponsored by Dogs Barking.
Sponsored by dogs barking out the window. Seems like a good time to end. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say don't go see it, but I'd say set your expectations low. They don't need to make another one. They didn't need to make this one. If you don't want to go to the movies, I think The Town is available on Disney Plus at the moment. Could be wrong about that. That's a better heist movie.
and I'm sure if you have a jailbroken Fire Stick, you can probably already find Den of Thieves 2 on it somewhere on one of them applications. So
There you go.
you might not even have to go leave your house for it,
Exactly.
You wouldn't download a car, would you?
All right. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever. Bye.